Hello, people of the internet. Today, I will be attempting to build a road-legal Formula 1 car of sorts based on a 1950s saloon car. Because what could possibly go wrong with this idea? You'll see here we have various options. I'm thinking carbon fibre, keeping in line with the Formula 1 type of theme we're going with. We'll go with a unitary chassis. I think we'll go with carbon fibre or AHS steel. I did make one of these before, not with this body though, so I know from that experience AHS steel can be better around a track even if it is technically the heavier technology. Now I would like this to be light as a Formula 1 car is light, and I'd also want it to be a sleeper somewhat if that's even possible. I do have an engine which I can use, or it isn't the best engine in the world, but I tried to make an F1 engine and kind of got there, but not really. We have double wishbones and pushrod. The Formula 1 car would use pushrod. I think older ones use double wishbones, but I'm not sure. We'll go +5 for quality for the time being and select the body. And now it's just time to add some bits and bobs to it. So slightly flare the arches, but not so much to raise suspicion as to how much power we will be making through the wheels of this beastie. Also I have a colour here I can use, kind of a strange blue colour, but as we work in blue, it's the one I'm going to use. We can have plastic wheels. They wouldn't really hold up that well to the abuse. I like the look of steel personally, so that's what we'll start with. Can we change the wheels here? No, it's just a colour. Now we do have the primary and rear lip. I won't be messing with that today. In terms of the body, we've got that blue colour. We have primary body, which I believe, again, that blue colour. But where it gets interesting is where we have front and rear bumpers. They can both be chrome, as you would fit from a vehicle of this era. Could actually make the wheels chrome, although I may change those later. And we'll go and keep up the premium theme by having chrome trim around the windows and on the mirrors. And that's all we've got for this stage, and that's all done nicely. So we can fit some pretty headlights, also surrounded by chrome. I'm just thinking actually, we need to move this car's body around a bit, I think, before it looks perfect. So hopefully move the front out a little. If we can just move the tail in. I want to move these parts inwards because we're going to have the engine mounted in the rear. Again, we're keeping it sleeper. You expect the engine to be mounted in the front. Gives me more reason not to do it. Got quite the wake on there. We don't want too much windscreen wake again. We want it to be hidden performance, as that is what I think I can specialise in quite nicely. Found the right menu eventually for these lights, so we can fit them. Come on. This is far from ideal, but yes, I'm having to work out the solution. They kind of go into the bodywork, that's the problem. Now, what other bits do we have? We have a grille we need. What retro kind of grills do we have? If you could get that in chrome upside down, that would look quite good, I think. It looks kind of miserable though. I want a happy car. Sadly, this isn't the kind of car that wants to look happy. Ooh, could we make it look somewhat like an Aston Martin? Yes, let's rip off Aston Martin designs. It's just an old Aston Martin, honestly. Maybe they'll have the police let you off a speeding ticket. To be honest, if the police could catch you in one of these, I would be surprised. They're more likely just to track you down. It'll be the easier way of doing things, that's for sure. Now we'll get the indicators. There we go. Very nice, retro kind of indicators. We need a badge as well. So we can just fit one right onto the grill here. We have the space for it. Oh, I don't know if that works actually. Make it smaller. No, that doesn't do it for me. Put it on the bonnet. Works there okay. No one would expect this to have Formula 1 beating performance though. That's for sure. Add a fairly standard fuel filler cap. Or, I don't know, none of these are particularly relevant for the 60s. So, we'll have this one, I guess, which I think is similar to a Jaguar Mark II's. I think that had a fairly similar fuel filler cap, so we could get away with it, I guess, even if it isn't the most period relevant kind of detail. We need another grill. Could go with that one, but I think this one will fit a bit better. Nah, I'll have someone seeing our engine. We don't want that at all. Number plate. Oh yes, we need to add one of these. It can actually sit on the bumper now, although it's very awkward there, so we'll just sit it below. And we can have some vents, which, to be honest, you would need to keep one of these cool. Put some mesh ones on. Again, if we could get these bits in chrome, it would look a lot better. Sadly, we can't. Come on. I want some little lights as well on the side, if it lets me, when I put those down. These ones should do the trick. I think there is indicators in those ones, and I've put extra indicators on. Oh dear. Well, I needed to fill the space somehow. That must be said. So, yeah, must make filler content because my voice isn't doing things, which is annoying. There we go. Tell me this car won't be cool now. No, don't actually, it'll make me upset. Yep, I think it's unsuspecting enough though, yet it still have loads of cooling ability there. So, for the door handles, we want something ideally chrome, like these, which I believe I used before, but they're doing the trick, so who am I to complain? Come on, click off them. Do something. Yes, there we go. Can add some more now. You just sit on there. And slightly rotate you. There we go. Ooh, not quite happy with that angle though. Looks like a classic, but it isn't. The Ford Lotus Cortina of your nightmares. Now, we don't need a scoop. It would be nice though. But what we do need is some taillights and things. I'm actually really happy with this design as it is. Nothing's gone too crazy complex, but it all just works. There may be a bit too much grill on the front there, now I think of it, but it's not so horrible I want to throw the car out the window, if you could even do that. It's just an expression I invented. Now, we'll add a pair of exhausts just down here. Duplicate them. Again, not many people are really going to notice it. You have to know your classic cars to actually know this isn't a normal one. We could go with a front lip actually. Now I think about it. because we do want some downforce, even if it's not the best, most convincing in the world. We do want the downforce. So where's our front lips? There we go. I think we can go with this one. It looks pretty decent to me. There we go. Oh, it doesn't quite fit in my space I made. I made that space specially. See much the same thing here. It doesn't quite want to fit in my gap. Oh well, I made it fit. Extend it outwards. There is our front lip. And we need a wing. So we'll add a wing and an aerial. Add a little antenna on the back. Ooh, that is a weird antennae. I'll just add it on top of the roof. It looks a bit more natural on top of there. So, bumper bar. Yeah, we don't want one of those. Wing. We can only get one wing, sadly. I hope it gives us downforce, so nonetheless. It did on the other car. Also did the under tray. Something gave me downforce. Oh yes, look at that for a wing. It's not quite in keeping with the sleeper look though, sadly. I think we can switch it round and that should just about look convincing enough. I don't know. I don't really like it, I have to say. There's our tail lights. Now they don't fit at all. I think we need some round ones. Like these. Nah, I think I'm going with more of a resto mod look, and these would do the job a bit better in that respect. We also need some other bits. So, I just don't know. I have loads of space and nothing to do with it. We have some vents. Right now, that's all I've got to work with me. Design flare, yes. Problem is, I've got pretty much everything I need. I need some indicators, but other than that... There we go, there's the back of our car. It's got a moustache. So, I think we're going to move on now. Here is our engine. It's got a huge amount of turbo lag, but how was I supposed to do any better? You'll see here, we've actually got an aluminium engine, again, because other technologies didn't seem worth it. Lightweight forged pistons actually struggle with all the torque this engine outputs, so I've had to go with forged, which are really running on the limit. If we see here, 10,000 RPM, and they begin to get really stressed at that point to the fact that you don't want to keep them running. Now, I am keeping this to 2014 in line with the 2014 Formula 1 season. I'll just let the engine run for you now, so you can hear it. Yep, as you may have guessed, being me, it's an inline 4 with a huge turbo on it. The current specifications do specify a V6 with 1.6 litre displacement. I could have put a 2 litre V6 and it would have been more or less the same for power delivery. And I couldn't get to 900 horsepower, believe me, I tried, but I just couldn't. Now, we're going with longitudinal rear wheel drive, or so I say. It is rear engine, yes, I was worrying for a moment there, but it wasn't. Look at how nicely that engine fits in. Nobody suspects a thing from it though. It's just a front engine classic until someone actually looks inside it. We'll go with a manual for the time being. I'm just thinking all this power, over 800 horsepower in this, of all cars. Electric limited slip differential, and I will do something with the quality sliders because they are very low at the moment. Look at this, 275s. That is good. Not good enough though. How big can we get them? We can only get 305s. There will be semi-slicks, because I say so. But there's only so far we can push this car by the looks of it. To be honest, those flares are already pretty huge. It does make it look very muscular though, almost like a Shelby Cobra. Still, we have got the rear engined layout, which should give us good solid grip on the rear. I just fear it's going to be too heavy on there. What were we doing for materials again? We were going carbon fibre with an AHS steel under tray, kind of. No, not under tray. Kind of under roof bits. I don't know. I'm struggling to put words together. But we were on the wheels where I think we could go a little larger, but would it fit? That's the question. I don't know. There's one of the menus and you can adjust the wheels. There we go. I think maybe those wheels. Or these ones. Try these ones. And we'll make them 17s even. Give it a bit more tyre around that. Yeah, you're just perhaps giving it away more is the fact that the tyres are so large. It's really like a classic Formula 1 car, this, more than anything. But one that's in a saloon body in the way that you just don't expect. Now, looking under here, you could perhaps sit rear passengers in here. They wouldn't be very comfortable though, with the engine vibrating right behind their backs. Yeah, it wouldn't be that comfortable. We'll go with carbon fibre wheels, I think. Or we're on the wrong year. Okay. Carbon fibre wheels have not been invented because I say so. We're stuck with magnesium. There we go. Oh, that's odd. Model year 2014. And so it was done. But it still thinks it's 2015 in some areas. This is very strange. Yeah, I think it just needs to readjust to my own stupidity of not setting things properly. I mean, this is an interesting blue I've got here. It is just the blue it gives you. I was going to create my blue, but the game just gave me this as a kind of make your own colour basic template, and I'm happy with it, so I didn't bother changing it. 155 I don't think is going to be fast enough, but that's not for now, that's for later. We are currently adjusting these tyres and stuff. I wonder if we can fit wider on if we make the tyres bigger. Sometimes that's the case. Not in this case though. Do I want 610 or 615? 610. My mind decides. They look quite good. So we want some carbon ceramics. Big as they will go. This is smaller than the other car in pretty much everything. Tyres, brakes. I don't know. Suspension. The engine's not smaller. But in many ways it is smaller. However, I'm hoping because we are talking a lighter car, we can get away with it. So it should be lighter. I'm not certain of that. Now, we want large brakes on the rear. Maybe not 350mm. And I think there is a weight benefit to carbon ceramics, so we'll put those on the rear as well. Go about 250 on the way. 4 piston brakes. Or maybe 275. There is a graph actually you can use, although it's not showing at the moment, disappointingly. If we look at the undertray, we want downforce as much as we can get, with an active wing and cooling flaps to help us do things properly. We'll have some cooling to the brakes, not a stupid amount though. And we'll have some extra engine cooling to compensate for that. 5 seats, or 4 actually, let's say in this case. Better to seat 4 people comfortably than have 5 people forced in. Or I say comfortably, just look at how this thing is. You're not really gonna fit them in the most comfortable way. I'm actually really liking the look of this though. I think it looks really, really solid in the way it is. And I've just realised I can add the badge to the rear. I'll probably do that a bit later. It's not desperate, so I won't rush into it. We'll go with a sport interior, maybe a basic actually. I don't know, it doesn't add that much weight. And we'll go with basic infotainment. Electric variable, do we want that? I don't know, it's extra complexity. You know, with it being a very traditional car, I think we'll go with hydraulic. Or variable hydraulic to help you deal with the power, but a more traditional type of steering. The assists, they add money, but I feel you'll need them, so I'm adding those. And the safety, if I just move my window, we have cost and weight, and I've thought standard to be a pretty good compromise in most cases, so that's what I'm going for in this case. Before, hydro pneumatic suspension treated me well, so I'm going with that again. I think we'll go with sport suspension, but not race, because I'm trying to build this as a kind of crazy Westo mod that you can buy from the factory. You know, in many ways what you would want as a classic car. If you just have loads of money, you can buy one of these instead of having to build it yourself, which is always a positive. Now, where are we? 1,099 kilograms. The weight is definitely having benefits. 34.5% of the weight at the front, though, which is very disappointing. Now, I'm thinking if we go with a carbon fibre chassis, would that help? We're very, very light now, but the weight distribution is shocking, really. 70% of the weight almost at the rear. Do we want that? I don't know. Is there a way we can move the weight forwards? Probably. But I think I'll try it like this. Just see how it goes, because it may be okay. Now, we actually have more front downforce, which is worrying to say it. I have to say it is worrying that there's more front downforce, because even with that amount on the rear, I'd much rather have the rear and front downforce exactly balanced than having all that extra force on the front where it's likely to go wrong, and just push the front down and have the rear lift and basically lose control of the vehicle. That is not what you want to happen in any case. Makes your cars look dangerous. We don't want our company to have a bad reputation. And I've messed that up now. Right, so I'm hoping if I get this right, we can move it back a little. Oop, boop. No, you're going this way. You will expand this way. No. It doesn't want to do it. We've got a temperamental wing. Wing, you are going to eat your beans, and you are going to like them. Oh dear. The wing is being very angry. Okay, that's our downforce mechanism. Oh no, this wing is doing something now. Oh, it's not really, it's not an easy task, I can say that now. We can remove that. Oh dear. It won't send to itself. I'm asking it to send to it, just won't. Right, I'm going to try and leave it here and hopefully expand it. There we go, that's what I'm working with. It just doesn't want to work for me, that's the problem. I thought I said 61 miles per gallon for a moment. Yeah, these aren't known for their incredible miles per gallon. Now, I might have to cheat the system here. If it still lets me cheat the system, that is. And just add a roof spoiler. Right, you can go. You can hopefully move to the middle. Yes, there we go. Finally, we've got a wing where we want it. And where are we? No, still making more front downforce. I don't know. This is really confusing me though, like why? Right. I think we're going to have to move past it. And I'm going to take it around the test track briefly in its current state and see how it does. Okay, so here we have the time it's set, which is third quickest on my leaderboard after the kind of LMP thing I built before this and the other supercar, which I forget his name, was the bomb actually. It's the $74,000 car that does it, although it's going to cost more than that. First of all, we have profit margins, and second of all, we have all the bits we need to add on. I just love this thing though. It looks so good, and the wide body does mean the weight is more centerwards into the car, which is always a good thing. But we do have to increase the quality. I'm thinking +5. It is a supercar after all. A road legal Formula 1 car even was what I set out to create. It's a bit more retro than I thought, but definitely not in a bad way. Just add all these up. You'll see here, all these menus we're going through. All these little things are what are adding up to be so fast, and the fact that it's in such a lightweight body. I wanted to use this because compared to the other rear engine bodies, this was probably going to be the lightest model, although it is a very unconventional way of doing things. It's definitely a vehicle you couldn't build in the 1950s even if you wanted to because of these tyres. You would require technologies that just weren't available back then. Also the inline 4, for the size, a 2-litre engine as it is, as we'll get the specifics, 2046 cc's, you just didn't get anything like that making this kind of power back in the 50s. So it would have been impossible even if you tried back then. Now, there's the front. As I mentioned before, we need to add the badge to it, so there it is. We'll add one of these to the back. I think I've added one there, but that's not actually such a terrible thing now I think of it. Could add it there as like a little touch. Yeah, you know, I think GM did something similar. Although, can we duplicate it? We can have it on both sides, yes. I think GM did something similar in the 1950s and 60s. Like they put certain logos on their cars near the doors to represent that you're part of this conglomerate or something. for some reason. Yeah, you're going under the wing. It's a space. Fine, I'll move you under the number plate if you're complaining. No, that looks horrible. Actually, we could have... We'll move this stuff down a little. There we go. And we can hopefully... Yeah, nice. There is... They need to move back with that, I think. Mustache. Your mustachio. There we go. And there's our vehicle. So, how heavy is it now and how well balanced is it? Because I have thought of turning this into a V6, which I'll probably do if it makes it lighter or if it in some other way improves the car. 33.9, so I think we've moved the weight slightly forwards just through smart engineering. If I can get 35% front, we won't have been too bad off there, I think. I could, as I will say, I am going to try AHS steel. I'm procrastinating, but I am going to do it. So, yeah, also another thing I'll show you. In order to desperately get the extra power out of it, I have put the fuel mixture to 10. Because we're trying to get this power at a 2-litre engine. I mean, the Formula 1 cars can rev to 16,000 RPM within the regulations, whereas this game only lets you rev to 12,000, and yeah, my car isn't even doing that, so that's why I've had to make it larger than the 1.6 in the Formula 1 regulations. Now, if we'll see the V6, 90-degree V6 actually, as it states, I'm going to hopefully do that. I think I can get the same power, so I'm going to try and do it. And ooh, I was just there, I was right there at the specific size I wanted. I mean, I'm not sure what it says, it just says 1.6 litres, so I'm not sure whether it's under 1650, which I'm assuming it is, hence why mine is as close to 2050 as I can get it, without actually going on to 2050. Come on. Yeah, it's lagging a bit. There we go. Back to where we were. Now, hopefully this can work. It's not giving me the same kind of power, so I'll have to do some tweaking to get the rev lines sorted out. But the basics are here. So I'm going to do some finishing off and return when I have done it. Okay, so here we have the Retro Sunshine, as it is now called. And it set a fairly impressive 2 minutes 5.30 time, which puts it just below the Sunshine Speedster, what I called the more LMP kind of version of this car, and below the Bomb by almost exactly 10 seconds. It's a tiny amount within it, really, and just within 7 seconds of it is the Aeromi-Bob. And just out of 7 seconds within it is the Retromi-Bob V8 injection turbo, as it's called. So, this little classic Ford Cortina resto mod thing really packs a punch. Mainly because it's got all that power. I mean, if only you could mid-engine it, that would be the only thing you could do to make this more of a Formula 1 car in disguise, really, because as it is, it's pretty impressive. But I feel there's more that could be done. The engine, I have used a magnesium block and an Alzi head to try and keep it as light as possible. I tried a V6, but I just messed it up. It was making the power, but the power delivery just wasn't there. And it would have been a lot of redevelopment work anyway. Although I'm sure if you really wanted to, you could make the power of a V6. I'm just happy with this engine. It may even be a bit less powerful than before just due to my messing, but it's still making 840 horsepower now. It's not particularly bad. Still, we have this bodywork, 4 seats as well, might I mention. So even though it's not the quickest car we've got, it's a 4-seater which kind of compensates for it. And it is a lot cheaper than the Sunshine Speedster. What I've done with the quality is it's going to be very limited production anyway, so I have made it plus 10 on quality as opposed to plus 15 on everything, although the engine is all plus 15 if we look here, because that's how I make the power. It probably would make the power, at least not so easily and so nicely once the turbo's kicked in, if I didn't use the quality boost. All in all, it's given me a pretty good price actually, $155,000. Which, for a car with this amount of pace, really isn't bad. As I said, I would have aimed for 150,000. I could probably get that if I was really careful about it, but for the time being, I'm happy. Very happy with this. And I think for once I've built something I can be entirely proud of every aspect of it. I think it looks good. It's got decent enough seating, the boot space. I didn't really look at the figure, but it's not that bad, is it? You still get a decent amount of space in there compared to your supercars. And I've just realised something. I've been entirely stupid putting all the grills on the front and the engine's in the back. Oh dear. So I'm going to finish off by just adding the vents it so deserves because of my stupidity. Well, no, it doesn't deserve the vents because of my stupidity. It just deserves the vents outright because of what I've done to it. Extend them that way. I would say this will give it away, but there's always a chance there could have been one of these in the 1960s or something that was a rear engine car, like certain Fiats, I believe. So, yeah, still kind of a sleepery pedigree. And, you know, the front grills and stuff, they might not be functional, but they look cool. So, how is that? But anyway, I'm going to leave it here for today and say goodbye until another day.